Wake up, Rip City. Your Portland Trailblazers are 5-5. Two disappointing losses in a row. Last night, they fall to the Orlando Magic 115 to 112. I'm Alex Moore, the host of the Wake Up Rip City podcast. Joined alongside me, it's Jay Gliss. Gliss, how we doing this morning?
Doing all right. Tough loss, but
Two tough road losses in a row for the Blazers as they have started this 5-game road trip not exactly on the right foot. You'll probably at least hope for a split, even 2 wins coming off those first 2 games of the road trip, but it goes the opposite way. They drop both of those games. They were obviously in both of them, had a chance to win both of them, and did not come out with either of them. But this is the Wake Up Rip City podcast. Just a little bit about us. I know we're just getting started on this podcast, so I want to make sure people know who we are. I'm Alex. I've been a fan of the Blazers since probably 2006, around then when I could start realizing what Blazers basketball was. My dad's a huge Blazers fan, so obviously it kind of passed on to me. And so that's why Gliss and I are doing this podcast. We're 2 former broadcasters. We used to work in radio. We used to go to Blazers games with press passes, so we've been around the team. And we just decided that we were both so excited for this year of Blazers basketball that we wanted to get on the mics. We actually had a Blazers podcast when we were in radio, and we wanted to bring it back. So Gliss just wanted to introduce people to who we are because I don't really want to talk about the game last night. As we start off every podcast, the internet is so full of negativity. Everyone is so negative all the time. We start off our podcast with a positive. We call it the wake up on the right side of the bed. Gliss, I will hand it off to you. Blazers coming off 2 losses in a row, a tough one to the Magic last night. How are you waking up on the right side of the bed this morning?
Shaedon Sharpe. Finally, he finally arrived. It was good to see. Obviously, outcome not as good, but to see how aggressive he was going to the basket and he just played with that pop that we haven't seen yet. It was just. I think a lot of time in sports you talk about the eye test. It's more about the feel when you're watching something or watching either a team or a player. And last night was the first game where it really felt like, okay, this is the player that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've mentioned this a lot on previous episodes, but we said it felt like he was pressing at times as we've gotten into this season and early in this season. But last night, it did not feel like he was pressing. It felt like he was getting his shots in the rhythm of the offense, which was so important. He was aggressive to the rim, which I love to see. You see so many great star players get themselves going by getting a few buckets early at the rim. And I felt like he attacked the rim early in the game. And that kind of led to him opening up his mid-range game. Eventually led to him hitting some nice threes as well. So Shaedon was fantastic last night. Easily his best game of the season, 31 points. He looked great. Super exciting to see him back. And I mean, at least if we're going to take something from the game, it's that hopefully the Blazers can build on that. Shaedon can build on that and continue to kind of have performances that are more similar to last night than compared to the rest of the season, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just one game, but it just, sometimes you see a professional athlete and you can just kind of tell something's off, something, that they're in a funk or whatever. I watch a lot of baseball as well. And, sometimes you see it a lot with hitters. And it just kind of felt like that's where he was at, just mentally in this early part of the season. But last night, even though it was just one game, it kind of reminds you of the player that he can be. And it's a good sign for the Blazers, I think, if we can see that on a more consistent basis when you add in Denny and just the way the offense has been, to have that as a weapon. And you talked about him getting to the rim. I mean, there was plays where it just felt like automatic that he was going to go to the free throw line. Like you could see that he was going to attack the rim, and it was like, okay, he's at least going to get 2 free throw shots here. Like he's either going to score a layup or he's going to go to the line. And I think that's a really positive thing to take away from the game last night.
Completely agree, Gliss. Shaedon Sharpe finishes with 31 points last night. Listen to this, 12 for 18 from the field. God damn, that's amazing. We haven't seen him. Feels like, I don't know if this is true, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it. I don't know if he shot above 50% from the field in a game this season. So for him to shoot 66% from the field, 67% is incredible. He's 3 for 5 from 3. And yeah, just fantastic. Like you said, the eye test, the stats back it up. He was awesome last night. It was great to see. And just can't wait for him to build on that, continue to build on that. Gliss, you took the only positive, so I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but I guess I will take a page out of the Jay Gliss book and let's look at context. Two road games that were winnable, and the Blazers could have won either one of them. I would say they should have at least split them based on kind of how they played. Obviously, they're in that Miami game. The Heat game seemed like it was out of their grasp for, almost the whole second half. It was always like 7, 8, 10 points. Then they'd come back. And I think that is my wake up on the right side of the bed this morning. This team doesn't quit. They always find ways to come back in this game. The Orlando game, they were down again with, 3-4 minutes to go, came all the way back, take the lead. And so there's so many positives from this team from how they're playing, which 10 games into the season, you obviously want wins, but there are wins when you can say, oh, that didn't look good. And there are losses when you can say, okay, this team had fight. Now there are a lot of obvious issues with this team, but to come out of this first 10 games, and I think, Gliss, if you and I before the season had started looked at this 10-game schedule, and we both said, hey, would you take 5-5 out of this 10-game schedule, first 10 games? I think we both would have said, hell yeah. I mean, absolutely. This was an absolutely brutal 10 games. Now, I think a lot of fans that are listening are probably saying, well, they play in the Western Conference. There's going to be a lot of stretches of games that are going to be brutal. Agreed, 100%, definitely. But did the Blazers play any Eastern Conference teams at home during these 10 games? No. They did not. And that's where some more of those easy games will come in, and we'll see. Now, they better beat the Pelicans tomorrow. I mean, that should be a game where this should be like a little bit of a wake up. 2 losses in a row. They've been playing decently well. There've been some obvious, glaringly, huge holes in how the team has been playing, and we'll get into those when we wake up on the wrong side of the bed. But I will say the positive is they are playing well. They don't give up, and you take 5-5 out of these first 10 games. Gliss, am I crazy, or do you agree with me?
No, I think you're right. I mean, we've mentioned before that the beginning of the schedule was pretty tough. A lot of, the Lakers twice, the Warriors, Minnesota, Denver. I mean, those are some of the best teams in the league. Yeah, the Thunder. So yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah, I agree. I think they should have at least won one of those games. It felt like they had the game last night. It was just kind of one of those fluky finishes. And when we get into the negative things, I definitely have. There was just some little moment. That's what's frustrating about a game like that is it was just so. It was theirs. They had it, and it was just a couple small things that just like completely blew it up. And then you get, I'm not going to say that last shot was lucky, but I mean, as the defender, I mean, there's nothing else Tamani could have done. I mean, he played great defense. He was in his face, and in fact, if you watch the replay, I mean, Bane's hands on the follow through literally like hit Tumani's hand. I mean, it was like you couldn't have done anything about that shot. It was just a great shot. So it's just it's disappointing, but yeah, in context, 5-5. They have a couple more games on this road trip. Hopefully, hopefully at this point you're 0-2. If you could come away with at least 2 wins, it's not ideal, but there's still a lot of road games left in the season. And I mean, really, you want to be right around that 500 when you're on the road and then take care of
Yeah,
your business at home. That's kind of, I think, how a lot of NBA teams kind of look at it. Um, so yeah, it's a bummer, but 5-5, I'll take it.
absolutely. And you're absolutely right about the, you want to go 500 on the road, take care of business at home. I mean, that's the recipe to 50 wins, right? You go 500 on the road, that's 20 wins. And then you take care of business at home, you win 3 out of every 4. That's 30 wins, and then you're a 50-win team. Now, obviously, are the Blazers a 50-win team? Probably not. But they are on pace to be about 500, which is kind of where we envision the team being when the season started. We both took the over on the 34.5. Big surprise there. We're both homers. But but that is kind of, I think, where we envision this team. So I think, yeah, let's look at it perspective. 5-5 is good. So that's my wake up on the right side of the bed. It's not good, but it's fine. It's where we are. I've accepted it. Gliss, you seem antsy. I know you want to get to some negatives.
I wouldn't say antsy. I mean, it's just
You want to go first?
yeah, sure. And mine's honestly, it's not a big one. It's not something that I'm concerned about. But my man Drew Holiday, I talked so well about him last week, and
That's done. This is basically Drew Holiday fan
yeah,
podcast. Yeah, that's all we do.
and I still love him. But man, just he had a couple just, and I think he would tell. And Lamar Hurd said it on the broadcast. Like he kind of put it out there that he's a vet. Like he is savvy enough to know that a couple of the turnovers that he had, just a few decisions down the stretch, they really did have a big impact on how the Blazers ended up in that position to let the Magic get the last shot. So again, it's not even that big of a negative because I still trust Drew Holiday. Like I'm still enjoying him being on this team of young guys. I think he's an awesome presence, but I do feel like he was maybe one of the key reasons why they ended up in that position at the end of the game. Obviously, that the big one being the kind of failed handoff where he literally just gave the ball to the defender.
Whew.
And that was just like, it was one of those things. It was just like a miscommunication. And he just kind of put the ball out there for it to get taken away. And, there was just like a couple things down the stretch where it just felt like, oh man, like that's a tough one to recover from. And that was like I said, it's not something I'm concerned about long term. But if I had to take something that kind of stood out to me, it would be that Drew Holiday kind of let me down a little bit in those last couple minutes.
Yeah, agreed, Gliss. It's such mixed feelings. Drew Holiday had 3 turnovers in this game, all 3 of them in the fourth quarter, all very timely in the fact that they
Mm-hmm.
were extremely bad in their timing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to ultimately the final turnover, which Drew Holiday, the Blazers have a chance, to score. Drew Holiday goes to give what looks like to be, I'm not sure if it was a handoff to Shaedon. Shaedon is inbounding the ball, which I was a little bit questioning even before it happened. Um, and gives it to Drew, and then he comes around, and Drew looks like he's going to hand it off to him, but decides not to. Tries to dribble through a double team because Shaedon has ran around him, and just turns the ball over. It's a terrible turnover for a number of reasons, obviously the time and stuff like that, but it's just like it didn't need to happen. There was no reason for him to turn the ball over there. There's no reason for him to try to dribble through 2 players, and the ball was taken away so easily. It was very rough in in watching it that way because there's just so many things that were going through my head. I'm sure so many things were going through his head because it's like it was just an unnecessary moment for them in that point in the offense. So
It was confusing, honestly. Like it was so uncharacteristic. It was just kind of like, what are we doing here? Like I don't understand why did that happen?
yeah, yeah. So, and I mean, we love Drew. If you've seen any of our shorts that I've posted on YouTube, it's like it's basically like, oh, Drew is the best. We love him, and so it's like one of those things where you're like, oh, like I really want to be disappointed, but then you look at Drew's stat line from the game, Gliss. I mean, he was great. Other than those
Yeah,
turnovers, he finishes with 13 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Obviously, all 3 of those turnovers. But then you look at his plus minus. In a game the Blazers lose by 3, he's a plus 14. So
yeah,
it's just like you were saying. It's like you can't really be that upset because this is not how he has normally played during games. It's not how he normally plays during his career.
for sure.
Uh, but it's hard not to mention, like, man, that sucked. And I know he feels it. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out against the Pelicans and really is getting after it, especially against his former team, and then against after what happened at the end of this game. So yeah, I completely agree with you, Gliss. All right, I got one. This is I I don't know how to exactly say this, but I feel like Blazers are losing their identity a little bit. And it's probably too early to jump on that. But this team, which was so fast, was full court pressing and really getting after teams. And what happened to the team that was causing 8-second violations? Like, that's not happening anymore, or not even getting close. This team was causing 8-second violations, which is crazy for an NBA team to do. Like, they did it in back-to-back games, I think. It's coming out of the season. And I do think a lot of that is due to the loss of Blake Wesley and Matisse Thybulle.
For sure.
That identity is seeming to dissipate a little bit. And, I think that they're falling back. They're falling back a little bit into, the Orlando Magic are such a slow team, and they controlled. It felt like they controlled the tempo in the game last night. It's just like the Blazers need to make sure that they are controlling the tempo in a game like that, and they should make sure, especially Orlando coming off a back-to-back, that they're running them. And it just felt like the pace and wasn't exactly what the Blazers wanted, and they were giving it to Orlando and kind of letting them control. And it was just unfortunate to see that. Now, I do understand when you're down in a game, it's hard to take a shot in 4 seconds, especially because you don't, it seems like a wasted possession and things like that. But I do feel like some of that is due to a lot of the a lot of the 3-point shooting. When the three's not falling, obviously it becomes difficult to do that. The Blazers shoot 13 for 36 from three, so actually they did shoot a good percentage. But maybe I'm looking more at the Heat game. But I don't know. It just feels like that identity is starting to fall off, which is exactly not what you wanted to happen, because this is like a classic NBA early season thing. A team comes out and says, we're going to run, we're going to run, we're going to run. They run for 3 games and then they don't do it anymore. So it's like they need to figure out something to continue this identity, because what they had in those early games was so awesome. 8-second violations, 10 plus steals every game. So it's just like, what can they do to bring that back? I think it is going to be so important. They finished with 5 steals last night.
And I think they still lead the league in steals.
Yeah, but keep that going. I want to see more of that. I don't want to see them go away from that, just because of game script or some losses in a row. That's what made the team so powerful. And I feel like I've been watching a different team. At least last night, it felt like it was like I was like, oh, this isn't the team that I saw. Like I want an 8-second violation. And I do feel like Tumani Kamara a little bit. Maybe he's been shooting a little bit too much, too quickly in the clock, and things like that. Like if Tumani can get his 3-point shooting percentage up, and shaedon becomes like what he was last night, more so the rest of the season, this team is looking really good, and I'm not even worried about these losses. It's just like I need them to get there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, Gliss, I'm trying to like get on my soapbox here to you and talk to you about how I'm feeling. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm exactly right in it, but yeah, I was having like an out of body experience. I was like, this is not the same team. What's going to happen? You know?
I think
What do you?
I think you're onto something for sure. It feels like maybe they pulled their foot off the gas a little bit just the last couple
Yeah,
of days. It's and I mentioned this last week that I think and you just brought it up a couple minutes ago. I think the loss of Blake Leslie, Blake Wesley, and Matisse Thybulle are probably they're probably going to be more impactful than we think. You'd probably think if it was Shaedon or Drew Holiday or someone like that that has a lot more impact on the offensive side, that would be a big loss, obviously. But I think we maybe are underestimating how much of a loss those two players are for an extended period of time because, as I said last week, I think they're kind of the motor that's behind this identity that they're trying to have with Wesley getting up in people's faces and Thibault just being able to go out there and play 15 minutes and get 5 steals in 15 minutes. I mean, they're just impactful players in terms of the pace, like what you're talking about, and being able to put pressure on the opposing team. So I do think that's probably a pretty big part of it. But I also agree with the fact that it does feel like they've kind of gone away from it a little bit. It hasn't felt like the same intensity. And, it is kind of like we questioned that, I think, after the first game, can an NBA team keep this up? Because, like you mentioned, it's kind of a cliche thing that a lot of teams come out and say they're going to do that, but it's hard to do that for 82 games. Like that's
yeah,
a long season every night going, especially when you're playing in the Western Conference and every night, you're going against, almost, you could probably take any team in the Western Conference besides, 2 or 3 teams and say like that team has a legit shot to be in the position for a play-in game. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's concerning. I do think that the 2 injuries have had a big impact on the team on the defensive side of the ball. But I would agree that you can see it. You can feel the difference a little bit the last couple games. It doesn't feel like there's that same energy and sense of urgency.
yeah. Agreed, and I agree. Not something that's necessarily concerning. If the Blazers win both these last 2 games or even split them, are we even talking about this? Probably not. I mean, actually, I can say for sure we would not be
No.
talking about it. So it really just ends up being kind of what side of the box score you're on, whether or not you're winning or losing. And so the idea is the Blazers go in tomorrow. They have a Pelicans team that's been struggling. I do not think Zion Williamson will be playing tomorrow. I'm not sure. I haven't heard an
Does
update
he
on
ever
his.
play?
Does he play?
Does he actually? Is he still in the league? Because it seems like he just sits on the bench all the time.
Oh boy. So probably no Zion tomorrow. Even if I had to check the news, I guess I could have guessed that. But
And probably not for the next time they play the Pelicans either. I'm just gonna throw it out there now.
oh man. All right. So yeah, I mean Blazers Pelicans tomorrow. That's a 5 p.m. tip. Gliss, I know you love these early afternoon games. 4 p.m. And it was like 3 o'clock, and I was like, oh my god, the Blazers playing now. So that was crazy, a crazy early tip. But 5 p.m. for the Pelicans. Hopefully the Blazers get back on track. Gliss, who knows? Maybe we'll hop on another pod this week. If not, we will definitely be on next week to recap how this kind of road trip went. And then the Blazers will be back at home next week to take on the Suns on the 18th. So,
you're going to that game, right?
I'm going to that game, yeah. The Blazers up. They gave me good seats too. We buy tickets to the home opener every year, so they offer to give us free tickets to another game as well. And so they give us free tickets to the Suns game, and so really nice seats. Thank you, Blazers. I appreciate you. And so yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be fun to see them in action at home from up close, not from all the way up top. But I'll miss my real fans up there. So.
Yeah.
All right.
The 300 level is a different vibe for sure.
There's $5 beers up there.
Oh really? No,
yeah. $5 beers, yeah, man. You gotta find the spot.
Take the max next time.
I'll show you the spot. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but maybe it's Blow Bar, I think is maybe what it's called. Up top, 550 for a beer. Not a big one.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, Gliss. Anything else to add before we hop off?
No. Go Blazers.
This last dude. Let's move forward. We move forward. This is the Wake Up Rip City podcast. We are on Spotify with video and audio, Gliss, and we're also on YouTube, of course, with video on YouTube. So check us out. I have redone my YouTube channel. Now it says Wake Up Rip City is the name of it, and it's all Wake Up Rip City content. It's got some of my old podcasts on there too, so you can check those out as well if you want to. But come on, let's be honest. You want to talk? You want to hear Blazers talk? Listen to Gliss and I. You can see all our videos on there. I'm posting shorts on there. Gliss, I made us an Instagram page. I know we said we weren't going to market this thing, but I'm loving it too much. So I did make us an Instagram page at Wake Up Rip City. You can follow us there. You can see some of our clips and everything like that. But if you want to check out the full episodes, you can hear them on YouTube and on Spotify. So please subscribe, follow us. Would love to hear from you guys. It'd be amazing just to shoot us a follow. So that's it for today. Gliss, I'll probably see you next week, if not sooner. But this has been the Wake Up Rip City podcast. Take it easy.